So, how's it been going, Sean? It's been a very long time since I've last talked to you. How you been, man? How's life? How's everything been going? With your life and everything. How's life? How you been?
Good, man. Everything's been going real well. Life's been going great. Been busy, but it's all been real good, real positive, and just enjoying the most out of it. So everything is moving real well, and our Zips just got the huge win on Saturday. So what's not to like about that?
I know it's just been an incredible run. I'm so proud and so thankful that we went to this university where, like I said, we're proud alums. We've witnessed greatness, some losses, unfortunately, every once in a while. But yeah, just let's just get right into it. Talk about the run that Akron has been on. And actually, you know what? Actually, scratch that. We're gonna come right back to that. I wanna talk more about you and about your grind and how you worked your way up through the hierarchy and with the Akron men's basketball team. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So when I was coming out of high school, I was looking to get into coaching and work in basketball, and I was looking at a couple different schools and pursuing different opportunities where I thought I had a chance to be on a basketball staff, and I had a chance to meet with Coach Dambrot at the time, and he gave me an opportunity right away. He said, "Sean, it's a very easy decision. You come to Akron, you're on our staff. You go somewhere else, you're rolling the dice." So it was right then and there when he told me that I wanted to go to Akron, and I made that decision. It turned out to be a great decision for me. I spent 4 years on his staff as a manager, and then he ended up leaving for Duquesne in 2017, and that's about when I was graduating. So it worked out pretty well timing wise. I had the opportunity to go be a graduate assistant for him in 2017 at Duquesne. And then I also was, as I was finishing up my undergrad, because this was in about early April of 2017. Coach John Gross got hired at Akron, and as I got to meet him and have conversations with him, he also offered me a graduate assistantship at Akron and a chance to stay there. And it just felt right, the right fit at the time, right fit, and it worked out very, very well for me. I was able to be, pretty instrumental in their staff early on, kind of showing the guys the ropes, the assistants, the head coach, just because they weren't familiar with Akron, right? They had never, they weren't, at Akron. They didn't know the university. They didn't know the student body. They didn't know the city. So it was a cool experience for me to kind of get to show and lead them in some ways on a very early part of their coaching tenure at Akron, and then kind of help recruit and build the program out. Because we I think we had at the time like three players coming back, like three scholarship players coming back from the 2017 team. So it ended up being a really cool experience. Doing my GA ship, I did that for 2 years, and then ended up getting promoted to assistant director of basketball operations, and I did that for 2 years. So it was a really good experience for me, and just getting to work with two great head coaches over my time. It was a total of 8 years, and it was probably 8 of the more successful years that Akron's ever had consecutively. So what an honor and privilege for me to be a part of that. We won 3 regular season championships in that time. And then, I would like to always think that in 2020 we would have won the conference tournament. That was one of the best teams Akron's ever had, but unfortunately, COVID had other plans for us, and we ended up finishing our season that year, warming up on the court at the MAC tournament, getting ready to play Ohio, and we had to call it before for the COVID. So that was kind of how my basketball career ended. But it did also end. The last game I sat on the bench at Akron for was a win at home over Kent State. So what a sweet way to go out.
There you go. There you go. Wow, you just like summed up every single thing like in your career. But let's take a little dive back actually. 2016, 2017, our senior year, a year that we will never forget. I don't know if you know this. I was working for the WZIP, sports team, and I wrote stories. I was at all the basketball games. I was the lead sports reporter, getting every single thing, Akron basketball. Like, I love basketball, and I just want to be a part of, this postseason. And all honestly, the entire season just in general. But knowing that we finished 27-9, and we had like seniors like Isaiah Johnson, Quan Cheatham. Those were like the veterans that have been doing it for like a while. To know
Yeah,
that they were unable to get the deal done. I mean, we made it to the obviously all the quarterfinals and the semis, and the championship was Eastern Michigan, and it was Ball State, and it was Kent State. Unfortunately, that's who we lost to. And
yeah,
obviously, recently we just found out that they won this year's team. But going back to that 2016-2017 season, talk about the drive, the determination, the unfortunate not being able to get to the actual, go dancing to the actual NCAA tournament. Talk about that season.
yeah, yeah. No, that team was awesome. Obviously, I came in with all those guys you just mentioned, right? So Quan and Big Dog and Aaron Jackson and then all the guys that we ended up recruiting after that were guys that came onto the team since I had been there, right? So that was like the first team that like I like, was either came in with them or they were added to the team after I was there. So I had a very close relationship with all those guys. And what a cool experience it was because our team that was a legit team. Like we had a chance to really do some damage, I thought, that year, and we were certainly the favorites going into it. Obviously, having won the regular season championship, and then we had a good run. We did, and we just got to the championship game. We were just a little bit gassed and just came up a little bit short against Kent State. I think they won by 8 points. So it was just a heartbreaking end to a great season. We did then go on the road and play in the NIT. We ended up playing Houston at Houston. Calvin Sampson was still the head coach, and we ended up beating that Houston team that year with three of our starters being from Houston. So that was pretty cool. So Anson Jackson and Dan Utomi or excuse me, two of our starters were from Houston, and then the third was Ty Dalton, and he wasn't a starter, but um, we had a couple dudes from Houston, and it was just cool to get to go back to to go to Houston, those guys' hometown, and then you kind of felt like you had a little bit of a home crowd away from home in Houston just because their families came out and supported us and we traveled some fans, so that was a lot of fun. Getting a win at Houston, which now obviously Houston has become a powerhouse in college basketball. So it's kind of cool. Like when Calvin Sampson was building that program up, we were able to get that win over them, and that win also solidified us with 27 wins that year, which is still to this day the school wins record for Akron men's basketball. So pretty cool accomplishment for us.
Wow, wow, that's truly incredible. I mean, unfortunately, it does suck that you weren't going dancing, but to still continue and win when it mattered in that secondary tournament, as I would call it, is good. Like you're still representing our school and putting your best foot forward, and that's great to know that they still were able to continue and contend. Just
Yeah,
playing, but and let's move forward. So now, I remember you told me recently that, after those 2 seasons, I believe it was 2 seasons from 2021, I believe, to 2022 was when you left, correct? After that?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, just talk about like, yeah, and just talk about why you wanted to leave. I know that was a very, very hard decision to make because I know how you love Akron basketball. Like it's in your blood. You like you said, you came up as a youngin, rooting for the team. Talk about just breaking away and end up leaving, going to medical sales. Talk about that.
yeah. So it was actually kind of a crazy thing. If it wasn't for COVID, I probably would still be in coaching in some capacity to this, today. But once COVID hit in, February, March of 2020, and our season got shut down, like I said, literally on the court warming up to play OU in the MAC tournament in 2020. which was a crazy experience. We didn't know what was going on. The night before, the NBA had just shut down after Rudy Gobert tested positive, and then that whole outbreak with that. We remember watching that on TV the night before the game, and then the morning of, we're watching it like, are we gonna play this game? And then we all loaded on the bus, went down to the queue, and started our warm ups. And as we were warming up, the MAC commissioner came out and said, "You guys need to go back to your locker rooms, and we're going to start." They didn't have tests for COVID at the time. The only thing they could do was like take our temperatures. So they all took our temperatures, and like we had some like team docs there with us. There was no fans, right? So I think we all had like 2 tickets apiece. So maybe there may have been 50 to 100 people max at the arena at the time. And this was like close to tip off. I mean, this was within 10 minutes of when the game was supposed to tip. And they kind of quarantined us there for like about an hour or two, and then they eventually just said everyone's got to go, and we're calling it. We're not going to play this game. So it was a crazy situation, something that probably will never happen again. Hopefully not, anyway. And so after that, we didn't have basketball. You think about college basketball and like the way it is, especially for our coaching staff. It really doesn't stop. It's all year round, right? So even in the spring, after you lose even like this time of year, for schools that aren't playing NCAA tournament, schools aren't playing the NIT, or what have you, a lot of times like there's still the academics going on for the student athlete, right? So you got to stay on top of that. There's still recruiting going on. And then, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, there's going to be, spring workouts starting for a lot of these schools. And that lasts for about 4 weeks. And then that takes you up to about finals. And then you have your finals. Players have to go home around May. When that's a huge recruiting period too. Your spring recruiting period, there's a lot of AAU tournaments, that sort of thing. And then you get into summer and the players come back for summer recruiting, summer AAU, and then summer workouts last about 8 weeks. So like, and that takes you up to, August, and then school's getting ready to start up again and whatnot. So like that's kind of how like a college basketball off season goes. And like that's what we were all expecting to kind of happen. But with COVID, obviously, that changed everything, and we weren't allowed in our facilities as coaches. Obviously, players weren't. The school shut down. Went fully remote. So we're still trying to help manage, our players' academics from afar. But like that's just a couple, maybe an hour or two a day that you're just making sure guys are staying up with all their classes and everything from online. And that was that point that like we start getting into May, and then there's no more classes, and it doesn't look like we're coming back anytime soon. I think they gave us originally like June 15th, maybe we come back. It ended up not being until I believe almost middle of September, second or third week of September, because
Wow.
mind you, because college at that point had gone all online.
Mhm.
For the entire university, it was all online that following semester, which would have been fall of 2020. And, so the rest of the university was online. We had to bring our players back in about, I think the middle of September. And they were going to like let us start doing some like workouts and whatnot. And it was during all of this, between the period of March to September, where I spent a lot of time, and as did all of us, where we weren't working, we weren't doing anything, and besides maybe a Zoom meeting here or there with the team, maybe once every 2 weeks, there wasn't much going on, and it just became very boring. And I'm just somebody that likes to kind of have like a high pace, fast pace like life and like work, and be involved with things. And
Yeah,
sitting at home wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What did you guys do to, uh, uh, get rid of that void of not doing much? Like, did you like play
Yeah,
video
I mean, it
games?
was
Like,
tough.
yeah, what
It
did
was
you do?
tough. So there wasn't much to do, right? So,
Mm.
we only had like Zoom meetings maybe once a week. I think it was less than once a week, honestly. We had like a workout plan, if you will, for the guys to follow. And but besides that, there wasn't much that we could do. You couldn't recruit, you couldn't, be in front of the guys. So there really wasn't a whole lot to do. I mean, as a coach, like there's only so many times you can reveal review the film from the previous season, you know.
Mhm.
And so it's just it was tough. So I spent you spent a lot of time not doing a whole lot, and there wasn't a lot to do outside of basketball either. There wasn't like there's a lot of social activities you could partake in or go places or really, so
Would you
that's
would
kind
you
of like when I
would
started
you say
pursuing other opportunities outside of basketball.
would you say though during that time the players and the coaches got closer though, or
I mean, not really, just because the
really?
fact that you don't see each other, right? So you're not really seeing each other. You do a Zoom meeting every, maybe once a week, but besides that, and you can kind of share your experiences and whatnot, like what's going on in life,
Mhm.
but and what's going on, around the country and like what we think about certain things. And like we had a couple of good guest speakers. I remember we had some really great guest speakers over that time. Like Thad Matta came in and spoke on Zoom with us,
Wow.
and Enrique's mom, who's a Cleveland police officer, she came and spoke with us, and we had a couple other like good guest speakers that would come join us on Zoom. But besides that, like the interpersonal relationships that you develop, and that's how you really get close, right? In college athletics and life in general, is being around each other on a daily basis, and again to intermix and share your experiences on a daily basis together, as opposed to just for maybe an hour on Zoom once a week. So it was just a tough time for all of us. I think it was really just difficult because you're hoping the guys are doing the right things and taking care of themselves and trying to stay in decent shape, and then also as a coach, you're just trying to keep your time busy and hopefully trying to do things to stay proactive on recruiting and stuff. But it's hard when you can't watch any new film, you can't go scout guys live, you can't you know really do anything. You're just kind of sitting there. So it was just a tough period of time for us, and that's what kind of drove me to pursue other opportunities, because we didn't at the time, again, just mind you, we didn't know how long that was going to last. There was at the time, and this is when it really hit me, was in June of 2020, when the Big Ten said we're not playing football anymore. If you remember, they like initially said that they weren't going to play football, and then the MAC said, well, if the Big Ten's not playing football, we're not playing football. And I said, if the MAC isn't playing football, which their football season obviously goes from late August to December, into December with the MAC championship, like what are the chances we're going to play basketball this year?
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
you have a full year without basketball. Like, what are we going to do? Like, I can't just sit here and do this for a year, And so that's when I started pursuing other opportunities, and that's when I reached out to some donors at Akron, and I was able to establish some good relationships with some of our donors while I was on staff there, to reach out about other potential job opportunities. And one of our donors had some really good connections in medical device sales, and so that he kind of set me up with some interviews, and allowed me an opportunity to kind of put myself out there with the right people, and gave me an opportunity to work for two great companies. And I ended up choosing the company I work for today, which is Globus Medical. So it worked out very well for me. Um, and it just, everything kind of fell into place. And to just to like relay this, is I do miss basketball almost every single day, and about twice as much right now in this time of year, because obviously this is a lot of fun. This is when everything culminates, and this is when it's the best time of year for college basketball. But at the same time, I have no regrets about the decisions I've made, and I'm in a very good spot. So I can't complain at all.
I'm definitely happy for you, man. And I know it's tough that you're not doing, you know, what you love, but at least you can kind of still watch, and kind of keep up with, our team, our
Yeah.
our our alma mater, and just to kind of see how they progress. And then that's the segue I want to go into now is they are on a run. It has been incredible. The senior class, Tribble, Ali, Enrique Freeman, and Michael Dawson. These guys have been together since day one. They have a way they play together. They know how to like work off, they feed off each other. Just it's been incredible to watch. They finished well in the MAC. the tournament, as you're aware of the MAC tournament, they won. They took care of the first opponent was you should know.
Not OU. Sorry, that was our second one.
Yeah.
First one was what? No shit.
Oh,
I was gonna say
Miami.
West
Miami.
Miami.
The first one was
Yeah,
Miami, was the
played
quarterfinal.
Gross's brother. Yeah, the brothers faced off. Yeah.
Right. And then the semifinal
OU.
was Ohio University, which was a very close call, which I'm not gonna lie, that was a crazy win. I'm not even sure how we won that game, but that was wild. And then last but certainly not least was the Kent State game. I want to hear your reaction to the young man that fouled trouble to make the game-winning free throws. I mean, we all have, our way of doing things and the tight moments like that when the time is going down, when seconds going down with the clock. But I after watching a couple of times, I was wondering like, why did he do that? Was it a lapse of
Uh,
judgment, or
yeah,
it's just
yeah. I
like
think
I,
it's
I
the
don't know
last
what
judge.
that
It
was,
had
but
to
it
be.
benefited us. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I
it
want
had to
to
be.
hear your thoughts after seeing that.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. Obviously, I was there for the Friday night game against OU, and then I was there for Saturday against Kent State, which obviously was an awesome win. So, but the play that kind of gave us, got us to the win was when he fouled us on that inbound, and that just it had to have been a lapse of judgment. I know that didn't come from Coach Senderoff. Coach Senderoff's a little too smart for that, so that wasn't like a
Did you
called
see?
foul
Did you see his
that he
reaction?
was. Yeah,
Just
I
like
did. I did.
ah.
So like it was just I think that he just thought that that Kent State was down, that his team was down.
Oh my God.
And just lack of awareness for time and situation in that part of the game. And obviously that cost them dearly. But I'm not complaining because that helped us out and helped get us to the win. So we'll take it any and every way we can. And you know what, like basketball gods are on our side. And like you said, here, a minute ago was, what a special group of guys that we had coming into this run that we've been on. With Enrique, with Greg, with Ali, with Mike, and what a special group. And that's the last group of guys that I was on staff that we brought in that are still on the team. So it's special for me too. And then I got to get down the court after the game and congratulate those guys and kind of just give them a big embrace and say everything that what it meant for me and for them and getting to talk to those guys after that game and how that all culminated. So that was just really special. What a special moment! What a special game and a special team that we had here. And the run's not over, so we still got business to take care of. And that's part of our one Akron motto. We always want to do the one thing that's never been done at Akron before, and that's win a game in the NCAA tournament. So I think that very well may be this team. I have full belief and faith in them. So looking forward to it.
Okay, okay. And as you just brought it up, so 3 days now from now, it goes by quickly. Going up against Creighton, and that's a
Yeah.
very high ranked seed in the Midwest region. Do you think we can fare with them? Do you think we'll go toe to toe? Do you think it'll be a blowout? Do you think it'll actually be very
Yeah.
competitive? Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to hear your thoughts. What do you think, or how do you think we will do against this opponent?
Yeah, I think Creighton's a good team. Obviously, they've shown that all year. They play in a very tough conference, obviously in the Big East, and what they were to accomplish in that conference, and they went on quite a run in the middle of the season, and I think they won like 10 straight games or something like that. It was a good run, and it's going to be a tough game. It's a tough matchup. They have good guards. They've got a great big man and Baylor Shotman and they got some, just great players all around. So it's going to be a tough matchup, no doubt. Coach Greg McDermott obviously has been one of the better coaches still coaching college basketball today. He's built kind of Creighton into a mini dynasty. Obviously, they haven't won on the highest level yet, but they've made some runs, right? They've gone to Sweet 16s. I think they went to Elite Eight here a couple years ago, and it's a good team. It's a good program. we played Creighton in 2017 when I was there. And
I
we
remember
went
that.
to Creighton and we
Yeah.
hung with them for about 15, 16 minutes before they made their final push and pulled away. Um, but it's just a tough team to play. They always are going to be tough. But with all that said, I think that if any team that Akron's ever had that could do it, I think it's this one. And I'm very excited to see how we match up and how we fare against them. We're going to need to bring our best, and I think that for us to be successful in the NCAA tournament, and for any team to be successful in the NCAA tournament, you got to bring your best every single night. You can't have, no one can have a bad night. All your players got to play well. Everyone's got to be completely dialed and focused in. They got to know the game plan. There can't be any mental mistakes, especially as a lower seed, like being a 14 seed like Akron is. You have to play your best basketball at this time of year, and every game has to be your absolute best, and you have to continually get better round after round. So for us to have success, we just gotta. We have the right pieces. We have enough talent. We have, the right guys. It's just, can everyone completely focus and dial in and buy into the game plan that Coach Gross is going to draw up? And if we do that, I think we have a real shot. You always need a little bit of luck, but I think that we got enough talent to make a little bit of a run and make some noise in this NCAA tournament.
Couldn't agree more. Now, the unfortunate time is starting to run down. It's got about, I think, 8 minutes left on here, so we gotta speed it up. But no, that was great. Now, uh, touch on Enrique Freeman, how he was just not known in the very beginning. He was a walk on. Everybody keeps bringing up the commentators how they're saying like he threw up on one of his first workouts and then came back out there like he was fine and just like dominated and like worked his way up from the bench to a starter to literally going to be
Yeah.
An NBA draft pick. Like it's wild.
Like,
And in my opinion, what I've noticed since I've been watching him as of late, his motor. He's never tired. He always plays, the full minutes. Always getting rebounds, always, getting his teammates involved, taking the best shots. Even the game this past Saturday against Kent State, he had that clutch three that no one really talks about. And the offensive rebound too at the very end of the game, one of the in the game, and it's like he does all those little plays that may not show up on the stat sheet, but they just pay dividends to the outcomes of these games. So I feel like every time he steps on the floor, he gets involved, he does all the winning plays. It just kind of just helps, elevate the team. And obviously, you have Ali, and then Michael Dawson, who makes his threes every once in a while and plays some good defense. And Greg Tribble, who's like the point guard kind of guy, like just kind of orchestrating everything and finds his little teardrop in the lane. I'm seeing it. That's his thing. And I'm like, all right, I
yeah.
see you. But like everyone on the team has their special gift and they work together as one. But I want to know what you think of Enrique Freeman and his development, and what do you think he's gonna do against Creighton, and how do you see him progressing in his future career, in the NBA?
Yeah, I think so. I was there the day that he showed up for walk-on tryouts. I watched and helped work him out for walk-on tryouts, and it was a you know there was talk amongst our staff, like the question was, is he good enough to be our third big man, right? Our walk-on big man. 'Cause we had two guys on scholarship already that were centers. Is he good enough to be that third guy to maybe play a couple minutes here or there at the end of the game, or in the middle of the game when we need just a break for the other guys? And we kind of all talked about it, and we're like, yeah, we'll give him a shot and see if he gets better. And like, worst case scenario, he's no good, and he's not the right fit for us, and we can kind of get rid of him because he's not a scholarship guy, right? So, and then to see where he's gone from there. But the one thing that I'll say, like from the very beginning, that we kind of all noticed and saw was like his work ethic and the way that he approached the game, the way that he approached really everything he does with so much heart and so much spirit, and like puts everything he has into it. And it's not just that way with basketball; it's that way with everything. If you know Reek, that's just how the kind of guy he is. He's a tremendous human being, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So he's an awesome person, and he's a great basketball player too. But um, I got to watch him develop over the course of 2.5 years when I was with the team, and for the first year and a half, that guy he sat by me on the bench right next to me, and I think he was always afraid. I used to stomp my foot on the bench a lot, and he sat next to me. I always think he thought I was going to break his foot with me stomping my foot on top of his, but thankfully I never did that, and I just watched him practice and the way that he approached practice every day. He came in, gave it his all, just worked really hard. He was real skinny when he first got there. And the way that he approached the weight room, he knew he had to put on weight. He knew he had to get stronger if he ever wanted to play. And that's something he took very seriously. The way he ate was something that was, a lot of guys admired. He really just gave everything that he ever had into what he's doing. And again, that's just kind of like the person he is. He does that with everything. He's very intelligent. He does that way with schoolwork. Like he's always a high GPA guy for us. He's no issues, right? Like he does everything the right way. He approaches everything the right way. And it says a lot about the way he was raised and the way that he approaches life in general. But that's why he's been so successful at Akron, and that's why he's going to continue to be successful moving forward. Is because he's committed to getting better every day. He has that mindset where like there's no day going to waste with him, right? Like he's going to come into the gym and he's going to approach that with 100% effort. He's going to go into the weight room, approach that with 100% effort. He's going to go in the classroom, approach with 100% effort.
every
And he
day.
does that every single day with everything he does.
I believe it.
And that's what makes him great, right? And like that's why he is where he is today, is because of his approach to the game and to life. Because he's got top-notch work ethic, and he's going to outwork everybody. And you can see that on the court, right? You can see, like you said, his motor and the way that he, moves around. He's just a great dude, and I think that he's going to end up being a tremendous pickup for somebody on an NBA. And I think he's not going to be a top draft pick, but whoever ends up giving him a chance, they're never going to regret it. They're just going to be extremely satisfied with the guy that they got.
It's for sure a steal, whoever ends up, picking him. And, the last time I got to see him was at James Madison University against the Dukes. And I remember the first half, like, it was back and forth. But unfortunately, the second half, the Dukes pretty much took over. I mean, they had a lot of threes and, ended that game. But, I'm actually going to be going to the Akron Creighton matchup in Pennsylvania. It was the PPG Arena, I believe.
Yeah, PPG.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and I think, like I said, like we just said earlier, it's definitely going to be a great matchup. Now, to conclude this interview, uh, looking forward to just the future, not only for Enrique Freeman, but for the Akron Zips program. In like a minute or less, touch on how you think the program will grow. Obviously, you have John Gross; he has his experience. What was it in Illinois?
Illinois. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, just
Illinois and Ohio.
yep, in Ohio,
Yep.
and like I just touch up a little bit. Like this is about to run out, unfortunately. What you think the program will do moving forward under his leadership and coaching?
Yeah, no, he's done a great job with the program. I think that we only have an upward trajectory from here. As long as he's the head of the head of the program, then it's going to be he's going to find a way to get guys, right. He's going to find a way to recruit. He's going to find to bring guys in, whether it's transfer portal or recruiting freshmen and developing them. He's done a great job. Obviously, like he's taken so many different teams to such high levels, whether it was at OU, whether it was at Akron, whether it was at Illinois when he first got the job, right. So it's been a credit to him. He's a great coach, and he knows how to run a program. And I'll tell you one thing: there's no man more committed um, to his craft than Coach Gross. He's intense, but he's a good kind of intense, and he's fun to work for, and he's a fun guy to be around. And he makes everyone's life, I think, with the energy that he brings, excited to do their job on a daily basis.
Perfect. I was about to run out, so appreciate the time, man. We'll be in touch with just life and all that, but appreciate the interview and go Zips.
Of course, man. Go Zips. Love it.
All right, man.